How's everybody today? My name is Carter. I identify as Muslim. I was not born Muslim. I came to Islam maybe a year and a half ago. I make it sound like I just did that like a little conflict. A year and a half ago. I wasn't brought up with any religion. My parents didn't raise me. They raised me, but I didn't have a religious upbringing, and that gave me a lot of freedom to kind of find answers myself and to do some looking that way. So I was kind of like a goody two-shoes growing up. I was a good boy, played by the rules, got good grades, got to a nice fancy school, and then I got here and like life wasn't so simple anymore. The big questions of, you know, what kind of people do we want to be, like what do we want to do with our time here. Those questions kind of start to feel a little more personal. And I've been working to answer those questions, like we all have for the past couple of years. And one way I've been trying to make sense of things is by looking to religion. A lot of different ones, all of them, I feel like all of them are pretty good. And I did little Buddhist things, did little Hindu things, and so the summer that I eventually converted to Islam, I'd spent most of it in a Christian church, volunteering. And for whatever reason, I mean, the people were incredible, wonderful community, but I guess something about it didn't click. And one day I was at home, and I was talking to my parents, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to visit like the local masjid. The local mosque. So I got all dressed up, got a little button-down shirt on, got all fancy. Drove over to the masjid, and it was in an empty parking lot, and nobody was there. And it was freaking terrifying. And there was a little house on the property, and a man like pops out and was like, hey, like you need anything? Like you good? And I was like, can I ask you about like Islam and your faith? And he's like, just come on inside. And later during that, I ended up talking to the sheikh of the masjid, the head honcho spiritual guy. So I believe that's what the sheikh is. And after 3 hours of asking him about Islam and, you know, kind of emptying out the questions that I've had, he provided some incredible wisdom, incredible answers. And he's a funny guy, and at the end of the 3 hours, he was like, so kid, you ready to be Muslim yet? Which is an outrageous question, thinking back on it. But I was like, yeah, I do. I felt it. And it happened super suddenly, like 3 hours, and all of a sudden, you're like Muslim, which is like, I get really self-conscious about it because sometimes I wonder if it's like the farthest thing I should have been, and if I chose Islam because it's like the least likely thing that, you know, I could possibly be, because I'm kind of a rebel like that. And so that's one thing I'm self-conscious about. And it kind of, the suddenness of it, I liken it to like a Vegas wedding. You know, it's kind of crazy. Things happen, you know. You don't really know what's going on, and all of a sudden, like boom, like you got the ring on your finger, like you're married. And I don't mean that to like. I mean it like in that I was worried that it happened too fast, and I felt it here, but the fact that I didn't think it through made me doubt it. Yeah, not in the end, but like throughout, like many times. So came home that night, and parents were like, "Oh, like, how was it?" I was like, "I'm Muslim now." That's been an ongoing conversation. We're still figuring things out there. And I guess now I'd like to talk a little bit about how my experience has been with Islam. And on the whole, it's been incredible. I guess it's just like, you know, we grow, and I've just been growing with Islam. been some funny stories. The first time I prayed, a guy was teaching me, and he was with his like 2-year-old daughter, and we were praying, and I was like, this is my first prayer. It's gotta be like super holy, like a super intense experience. And meanwhile, this little 2-year-old baby is crawling all over her dad and squealing and giggling and chill. And that was good. I hope this isn't gonna land, but I'm gonna do it. There was like I went on a Muslim spirituality retreat after my junior year, or during my junior year, and one of the introduction icebreaker exercises was everybody's in a big circle, and we were asked to say our names, where we went to school, and what our names mean. And Arabic names are very beautiful and often have to do with the religion, or I don't know enough about that to say anything. And so, of course, the names like Fatih means the opener, and Rabia means spring, and Carter, my parents named me after the character on ER. But so it goes with growth. There's also, hiccups, not hiccups, but adversity along the way. And I've had some mental health things. Often I feel like I have some sort of relationship with God. I kind of have read this motto and kind of taken to it, like you either have faith or fear at any given moment. You can only have one moment. And so that's kind of caused me to, whenever I feel afraid, I acknowledge it's a lack of faith, and that makes me feel compelled to like try to do it. And there's reasons, like we're afraid of things, like some things are just not good. So take that with what you will. And I guess one of the things like that have been making me afraid, and I'm gonna use this as a little soapbox for a sec, is that I guess on sexuality. I have thought about relationships with the same sex, and it doesn't seem that bad to me. So I'll toss that one out there. I'll leave it out there. Thanks for letting me do my little faith and fear thing. That was damn right. And that's all I got. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who's been there along the way for me. I've met some of my best friends through my journey with Islam. Special shout out to Imam Zohaid and Arshi, who have been role models for me and really set a positive tone on my experiences of Muslim life at Princeton. So,